welcome back to Tiny Blue Games. My name's of course Csaw or Chris, and today we're talking about Final Fantasy XIV in 2020. Today we are doing the Whorleater encounter, which focuses us against the mighty Leviathan. It's a really cool encounter because it is at sea and it's got a very different aesthetic than a lot of the other encounters we've done so far. I can't even think of another ocean-based encounter that we've done. There's been some fights I've done kind of for job quests, but I don't know. I might be thinking of something or forgetting something very obvious at this point. I'm kind of concerned about it, but I'm going to say this is the first at water encounter I've done in Final Fantasy XIV. There are some encounters that were kind of got a similar feel in World of Warcraft, but they're pretty different. Like, I mean, they're on ships, I guess is all I can say. The one that comes to mind is the ICC fight where you're on the two gunships going up the tower, but even then it's more of a Horde versus Alliance fight than it is against a mighty boss, right? So this is a very unique feeling thing, and I think it's pretty cool. I see us getting ready here in our Easter Bunny costume again. I like our little nod we give whenever people are talking to us. People will go on for paragraph and discuss the pros and cons, and whenever a conversation falls upon us who seem to be kind of like in charge of a lot of things, we just nod. You know, we give a quick little nod in the right direction, and that's it. We don't complain. We don't put any more enthusiasm into it. It's kind of a nod. We do get a little bit more excited when we finish a encounter. We do our little victory pose with our team, but we're pretty emotionless otherwise, which kind of makes us the perfect soldier, I guess, in a lot of sense. But yeah, so this video is pretty quick. It's a really quick encounter, and nothing too crazy either. I didn't go in knowing as many of the mechanics as I have in some of the past videos, kind of trying to keep it a little bit more exciting. You guys also mentioned, though, in the past video that the hard versions aren't actually the hard versions, that there's an extreme version for all these fights. So because of that, I've kind of, loosened up a bit on how much I've been preparing for these fights. I'm still kind of aware of some of the mechanics. One of the big ones was that I knew, hey, he kind of like comes onto the ship and sort of makes everyone go to one side, which we're seeing right here, which super cool, great use of the actual floating ship as kind of a mechanic for everyone. So I was just kind of staying near the center. I guess that's the biggest piece of advice I saw online was, hey, stay close to the center of the boat, don't stand in bad stuff, and you'll do pretty well. So that's what I did. It would be interesting, though, and I didn't read this anywhere, if you were too close to that attack when it went down, do you actually get knocked off the boat? Like, are you gonna die and get like tossed into the ocean? Or what's the deal with that? Because that would be A, very terrifying, but B, a pretty cool death mechanic as well. Just fall into the abyss of the water. Yeah, not fun. But we are healing again on our Scholar. The tanks do take a fair bit of damage in this fight, and there are some AoEs to pay attention to, but as long as you're keeping everyone topped up and just being prepared for any kind of damage that comes out, it isn't too much. I even stood in some AoEs and it wasn't the end of the world. I think the other big thing that's pretty cool is that there is the body, obviously the main head, and then there is the tail that is also part of the fight. I did read online, and I didn't pay attention as much to this, that one of them is for magic attack, I believe, and one of them is for non-magic attacks. So that's kind of a cool split mechanic for DPS that I don't think I've seen too much up to this point in Final Fantasy XIV, whereas I think obviously higher end content you see it a lot more. And, as a healer, it wasn't something I super needed to worry about either. So I kind of just stayed to my side and healed more than anything. The other big mechanic that I was prepared for at the end was that there is a kind of like end mechanic where he goes crazy and attacks the entire boat, at which point you kind of stay close to this generator in the center here, this little light looking thing. It kind of looks like a lantern is what I'd say, and it puts up a shield around everyone, and you stack there and just sort of defend yourself against it, which is cool. But yeah, very cool fight. Had a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun doing the quests between A Realm Reborn and the first expansion. It's been interesting to see how things develop, and there's been a lot of really fun encounters throughout it too. I think the the boss encounters have been a lot more enjoyable through this section, which is nice. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will hopefully get some more videos out to you soon. But until then, have a great rest of your weekend.